The DraftKings Casino app is the place for
Yes,
jackpots.
yes, yes,
Like
yes,
wins,
yes,
Texas
yes,
size.
yes.
New players play $5
Under
and
the
spin for
weather.
a shot at
Under the
1,000 in
weather.
casino credits. Plus a
Let's try to get some quick subs here, you know what I'm saying? That's right. Food Train Mike giving you his time right now. Giving his time right now.
I'm back in the motherfucking saddle with cash money, motherfucker. There it is. That's what I want. You hoes thought I was dead. Other shit got to work in all kind of head.
All right, everybody, come on now. Come on now. Hello, hello. Hello. Is it? Well, it could be possible. Sub up, sub up. Lot. Welcome. How are you? And if you're not a sub, please do. Food Train Mike. Give it a little bit of my time today. Not bad, hanging in, you know. Allergies been kind of getting to me and stuff, but you know. I don't have Apple TV, but just please sub the channel if you can. Food Train Mike in the house right now, giving you his time, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate. I'm not sure about that. Nah, I don't do any of that. So how's everybody? You know, we're giving time right now. Time. You know. How you doing, T-Rex? Shout out to T-Rex. Yeah, I'm trying, man. Tough road, you know. I'll be 48 next month, but I've noticed the older guys do pretty well. So time will tell. My vids are going up in views. You know, watch time's still low, but I got time. You know, the older I get, the more people are gonna watch. So I mean, we start off strong. You know. But we'll try. You know, we're trying. Yeah, I was just monetized last June, so you know, before June, I was actually stagnant with like 350 subs, and then February 2024, I did a video all the way down, holding a quarter pounder with a thumb up, and it hit like 1,000 views in a couple days. And I started doing food ASMR more so, and then just stuff started rolling in, and it was last June, so June 24, I was monetized, and so it'll be a year next month. So I gained like close to like 3,000 subs maybe in a year, maybe a little more. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, nah, I just figured I'd say hello, come on for a few minutes, you know.
For people over 50 who didn't invest 20 years ago, tomorrow morning I am kicking off the 28-day investing challenge for beginners over 50. Just 15 minutes a day to start your investor path.
But I mean, you know, with the yeah, I mean it's tough, because you know, money's a little tight, and then I do have some gallstones that I developed from some faulty eating. As much as I know how, as much as I know how to eat well, I kind of go overboard. If you watch some of my Burger King, uh, BK King videos and stuff, that's nothing compared to what I can tear down and what I've gone into restaurants and put down solo. So I've just eaten to a point of where you'd want to throw up so many times. I think I just being a small guy, I just overstressed the gallbladder. Finally came to a point about a year ago where I got to be real careful. So that's my videos. They're kind of flip floppy with the different shit that I eat. I throw different things together to try to make it interesting because I can't make it. I can't. One day go get a pizza, the next day go get Chinese, the next day go get McDonald's. I can't even eat fast food anymore unless it's like I got to get like a plain cheeseburger at McDonald's, a small fry, and a 4-piece nugget, and I can do a McFlurry. That's not even a point to eat that. When I go to McDonald's, my go-to is the quarter pounder meal large with a diet, double cheeseburger plain with mac sauce, hot fudge sundae or McFlurry. If they have anything different than apple pie, a pie, and maybe a 4-piece nugget. If I go to Burger King, BK King meal large, or some type, if they have the Stacker meal large, whatever, something with bacon on there. And then we do 3-piece mozzarella stick, Sunday, extra rodeo cheeseburger. So you get what I'm saying? So I just eat to the point of no return. I've even gone to Chinese buffet and saved room so I could hit the double cheeseburger at Burger King since I pass it on the way home. So I mess myself up. And of course, being younger, my diet was good, but I ate a lot of junk food too, so it adds up. But yeah, but if I eat right like I've been doing, it doesn't. I'm all right, and I can, you see in some videos, I have some wings, I have some stuff, but I miss doing the McDonald's or the Wendy's or the Burger King. But it is what it is. All right, we got one on now. Hello. Oh, showing. Oh, that's it, huh? Anybody want to say hello now? But I do have video uploaded. Marcus, the man, the myth, the legend. Always glad to catch you, Marcus. How you been, my man? Yeah, I went to dispensary couple times in the same week. Actually, probably shouldn't have. Got like some different stuff, but I don't know. Well, I don't want it. Like the buds are like real beautiful, like real big. They're like big too. It's weird, but I don't know, man. It doesn't hit. I don't know if you have that same problem. I know you smoked back probably in the late '90s, early 2000s, like mid 2000s, like 2010, 29, 8, 7, 11, 12 ish, 13 ish. Oh, that's right. You started up. Nice. Hell yeah. Well, if you can. I mean, don't let it screw you. But if you can do it, you know, I don't see why they do that shit anyways, you know, because not federally legal, you know. So it's like, you know, you go get a job and you live in a state that is legal, recreational, and you can't have it. You gotta like stop to get hired and then smoke once you're hired. It don't make any freaking sense. Yeah, Moon Rock. Oh, pre rolls. Yeah, there are. If you get the right ones, they're all right. I'm not, you know, I'm not a joint smoker. They're okay. I mean, if they expand well, they're nice. I mean, I don't mind a joint. I mean, hitting it, but I like the bong. But I do like those. I've had some Moon Rocks, but they get tough in the bong because a lot of those concentrates are just ridden with chemicals. You know, it's like weird. It's like you burn them down and they burn down like crack. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, there was one time I was trying to destroy myself, and I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, my lungs hurt. I do a lot of. That's why I do a lot of cardio. That's why I do a lot of cardio. Um, and like when I lift, like I'll do supersets, which are tough. It's more mental than physical. So like as for instance, I'll do like as many push-ups as I can, followed by like 5 pull-ups, 6 pull-ups if I can, and then followed by, you know, how many dips I can do, and then back and back and back and back. Say I do 10 sets or 15 sets. It's gonna take me a while when I should be quicker at it, but it's like mental. I get lazy and it's like I mean I work I'm working at it, but I mean I could be working harder, you know. So like I'll do stuff like that. I'll do like you know, bicep curls times plate raises, or you know, bench dumbbell press high reps like 15 20 reps times plate raises with the 30 or 45 pound plate, and I just try to bring it up and then bring it down, bring it up. So yeah, I started deadlifting again. With the osteoporosis, I got nervous, but fuck it, I don't care. I haven't deadlifted in 5 years, and today was my second day doing it, and I was sore. And I probably shouldn't have, but I pulled. Wasn't much. It was 155 for. But remember, I haven't done deadlifts in 5 years, and I weigh between 116 and 120. So after 5 years, I warmed up to it, but today I pulled. Well, I did four. I was just doing low full between like 4 or 5, 3 to 5 rests, but I was doing 4 and 5. I did four of 155, and then I took a couple seconds, and I popped another two of 155, and then I did a 4 and a 1 with 155. So I did four, and then I waited a couple seconds and pulled one more, trying to get my back, because the problem is and that's light for me. If that's weird, that's light. 155 is light. I mean, I could have probably pulled 170, and I haven't deadlifted for 5 years, and I'm less than 120. So if I didn't have that issue, I'd be deadlifting over 300 pounds. I have a one. I did when I was 140. I deadlifted 300 for one. So I just don't. I don't know. I don't think anybody's here, Beamer. But if you want to be, please sub Food Train Mike. But I pulled 300-pound deadlift for one rep at 140. So I know I could have done 170 for 3 or 4, being 120. It's not too bad for not doing it for 5 years. I did 155. So I just like to do that. So I'm gonna try to do it, and just gonna try to. It's not gonna increase the weight quick. I'm gonna stay at it some weeks. Stay at it some weeks. Wow, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. Quite unexpected. Well, thank you for the. All right, God bless you, man. Definitely appreciate that. You know, you're gonna. Okay, thank you there, Marcus. Yeah, that's pretty good, right, Marcus? I mean, that's my best lift, the deadlift. I suck at everything else. I mean, I'm all right with arm curls, and I mean, I can, but like the deadlift, but I had an issue where I couldn't, put the weight down hard. Like, you lift it up and then you come down and you kind of just drop, not drop it, but you don't go slow with it down. Excuse me. And I was doing like 200 and something pounds a few years back. All right, sumo's, yeah, sumo's good. I did it like with 200 pounds 5 years ago, and I felt like a pull in the lower back. And then, like, I don't know, like, however many years, couple years after that, I found out about the osteoporosis. So then I'm just like, that must have been it. It must have. So now I'm just gonna try to start back up. I've been doing different lower back stuff. So I don't know. It's one of those things where you can only hope, but I just have to increase slow. Definitely to get up to a couple hundred pounds, hopefully more. At least I just glad I can pull that much. That's why I always when I took jujitsu, it was very hard for me to learn moves. But I think like when I rolled with people that were like, um, that's pretty good. Yeah, I've never leg pressed. I've never been in a gym with one. But that's why I think when I was in jujitsu and I would grapple with people that roll with people that were on my level but bigger, I gave him a challenge getting me down. And I remember one kid, he was taller and weighed more, and I remember I grabbed him by the back of his knee and like kind of sweeped him. It was weird. We were like wrestling around, and I just like grabbed the back of his knee and took him down, like in the back. Um, Definitely want to do jujitsu some more, but I'm just skitzed out about it. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I know we're all in there, but he was getting frustrated because it was taking him a bit to get me. He finally got me. I got tired out, but I mean, you should if there's a place around you. It's good for all guys, all shapes and sizes. And you get a lot of strength. You know, you yeah, you get a lot of strength. You'll you know learn some good stuff. You should do that in like some type like Muay Thai. A lot of MMA gyms do that. Boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, where you are. Yeah. Well, you ought to check it out because they might be affordable and you get unlimited. You know, but the Muay Thai and the Jiu Jitsu is a good combination. I want to get back into it, but it gets hard because I don't want to like screw myself up, and then if I screw myself up, I can't then I can't exercise and stuff. So it's weird, but it gets mental though, because that's why I wish I had a trainer. I could afford a personal trainer just to work me out, put me through, because it's hard after a while. You get to a certain condition where you're conditioned, but you're not conditioned like I'm not conditioned like an athlete. I might have a heart rate of an athlete, but I'm not conditioned, or like a fighter. I'm not conditioned by any means. I need to be put through like a CrossFit or something like that to where they're really gonna where it's gonna be so hard where I'm gonna throw up basically, or I'm gonna hold back because that's what happened when I did do CrossFit. You know, when I tried it years, like that was like 2015. Yeah, that's the best stuff. I love that. Yeah, if you're into it, I'd look into it. That's pretty cool too. Yeah, I would. I may look into that. I mean, I would look into that if I was, if you have the time. You know, a lot of places just evening classes, and by the evening I'm shot. I'm up so early, and then I exercise in the morning. And with jujitsu or with any of that, if you're not in the right mindset and you're tired and you second guess, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna fuck up your knee. You're gonna get fucking break your jaw. Fuck up shoulder, but more so knee and an ankle. I've noticed with me, knee and an ankle has been compromised in some situations of trying to escape. So if you're not careful and you're not thinking right and your mind's elsewhere, you're gonna get injured. And my mind is elsewhere a lot of times, and that's why I've yet to step back. Because where my mind is right now, I go in there and I'm not fully attuned. I'm gonna end up getting hurt. Yeah, I love CrossFit when I tried it. Yeah, yeah, it is high intensity. But that's all right though. If you were into that, you go at your own pace, Marcus. You build up after a couple weeks, couple weeks, then to a month. Realistically, within the first month, then another month, then another month. You know, build up. If it takes, they're not going to discriminate. But I think the martial arts is the better way to go money wise, because now you're getting like you're hitting bags, you're sparring, jiu-jitsu. Of course, you're moving, you're working, you're sweating, you're doing different. It's very cardiovascular jiu-jitsu, especially when you start rolling. I mean, when you learn a technique, but then you roll for an hour after the technique usually. Usually do technique an hour and then roll an hour. Or if it's an hour class, technique a half, roll a half. You know, um, but if you luck out and find one where you learn technique for an hour and then you roll an hour, well, that's a pretty damn good workout. And then if you have like Muay Thai before, and that's kind of the way the place is set up near me, it's an hour of Muay Thai, and then it's 2 hours of Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like Jiu-Jitsu like fundamental practice, and then it's an hour of rolling after that. And that's where you really get the workout, because you're working the moves. A lot of times when you're working and learning moves, you're working it, you're learning it. It's slower, but it's different type of muscle uh, fiber going, And then when you practice it out and rolling and you get moving and you get and it going, well, now you're using other muscle fiber. You're using other, uh, cardiovascular system now. Aerobic, anaerobic, sometimes both at the same time in a way. It's aerobic, but it's anaerobic too because you're moving a guy off you. You're escaping from a guy that's on top of you. You're trying to get out. Guys on top of you. You're trying to get out of that. You're on top of a guy. You're trying to get him into submission while he's trying to get out of it. So I mean, it's like both, and that's why it's so good for weight. Like I remember when I started doing it for a little bit. After a few weeks, I mean, I was looking at even I have flab on. I mean, I'm skinny. I don't want to complain, but I do have flab on my stomach. But I was looking at myself, and I'm like, damn, like a few more months of this, let me freaking skeleton if I don't start eating. Like, you know, um, because I'm pretty active and like between working out at home and then if I take jujitsu and I'm doing like you know I don't know like 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 3 to 6 hours a week. If you start doing like that, you're gonna I would shred out. I'd turn into a skeleton. I'd lose weight quick. Yeah, I the same here for me, man. Same here for me because it is. And at the end of the day, meaning at the end of it, when you'd probably have to go, you're tired. You know, that's why I like the morning classes. You know, because I'm more fresh. You know, so it's like, you know, you work out a little bit, get kind of like a warm up, and then you go right to the class. And then, you know, you're more alert. You're fresh in the day, so you're not thinking. You're focused more on that. You know what I mean? But once that day ends, you know, if you're not in that right mindset, you know, you can wake up not in the right mindset, but then like you can get in the right mindset sometimes quicker than if you wake up not in the mind. You know, I don't know, but morning classes are good for me. I remember I did a boxing one for like 6 months, 7 months. I went down like 110 pounds when I did that. I was sick, but I was pushing those bags over my head. Girls were looking at me, and like I was pushing these heavy bags over, like just like, you know, going down in the plane, coming up, hitting the bag, going down in the plane, hitting the bag, going down the plane, hitting the bag, going down and putting the bag up. Girls are looking at me. People are like, "Are you training? Are you training for a fight?" I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I'm watching everybody else doing. I'm training for a fight. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I never even sparred. A guy worked with a trainer, throw a tennis ball at me. I turn my head. He's like, he's like, you an older guy? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, because most guys with no experience, they turn, because you're not supposed to do that. You got to look at it and dodge it. You know, you turn your head, you flinch, you get knocked out. You know, you got to look at it and move. You know, while you're looking at it, and that's what's hard. You know, so like I remember there were these two chicks, and they're like, he's like the Energizer Bunny, because you know I was like I'd come in, it was in the morning. Oh, I fucking loved it. It was in the morning. I'd have my energy drink, and it was like back in like 2013. So like I was still fresh. The energy drinks were still kind of fresh to me, so I was getting a good spike off it. And I go in there and I see these broads, and I just get like horned out, and like just like it'd be like a kid back in school, like showing off. Like I mean, I just went ham. Like I pretended like I was a boxer, like I knew what I was doing, weaving the bags, side shuffling, doing everything, all trying to just keep it up. Had a muscle shirt on, or had the t-shirt and got sweaty, and then took off the mud. You know, had a wife beater on, stuff like that. But the girls were looking at me. I'm like, yeah, you want to see the Energizer Bunny? We could hang out after class, and you'll see a real Energizer Bunny. I'm like, you ain't seen nothing. This is just we just trying to get a workout in. I loved it, but I didn't know anything. Then I went to a martial arts school first time, where they had like so much under one roof. They had everything. They had kung fu, capoeira, BJJ, Japanese jiu-jitsu, uh, uh, Muay Thai, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And I remember I went there and I did Muay Thai and started the Jiu-Jitsu, and I didn't know how to throw a punch. I didn't learn anything from that boxing. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't even know where to hit. I remember I was in Muay Thai, and I'm like, "Guys, question, where do you hit the guy to knock him out?" And a girl, and everybody's looking at me like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, right here. I'm like, "All right, thank you. That's all I want to know." So where to hit the guy to knock him out? And I figured, because I always wondered, is it the chin? I mean, yeah, it could be the chin. Is it up here? It was like, yeah, you want to kind of get him right here, so you can really shake him, So it's kind of like between, like, now, you give him a chin is all right, but really, the guy's got a big chin, You really want to get him right, right here, crack him, So I remember the people were looking at me like it was like the weirdest thing. I was like, it was like the second class or whatever, and I was like, any questions? I'm like, yeah. Where you strike the guy to knock him out? What's the best part on the face to hit him and knock him out? And people are looking at me like, and he told me, and I wanted to know that because, it's important to me. It was important to me when I was in it, and I loved it. And then I ended up moving. Then I ended up getting overwhelmed. Then I started taking a little Wing Chun. Love doing a Wing Chun because you're hitting the dummies. You get working the forearms. They got all that iron palm or that, palm training to harden your stuff up. And it was like really cool, the Wing Chun stuff. And I did that for like maybe 4 or 5 months. And then I relocated. So, and there's nothing like that around me, just BJJ and Muay Thai places, But I like the Wing Chun. And now the place that I took that Wing Chun at also does Muay Thai. I guess the Sifu there that did the Wing Chun. He was pretty good at it actually too. He was damn good, pretty fast too. But I guess he got into Muay Thai and got certified and went up the ranks from the time that I relocated. Past few years ago, from 2015, and now he does Muay Thai too. So he knows, and that's a good combination, Muay Thai and Wing Chun. That's actually a really good combination. You have to know some grappling, maybe. There's a little grappling in the Wing Chun system, I know, and Muay Thai, I know, has some throws and some lethal techniques that could hurt on the stand up, you know. But I think that two combination is pretty good. Wing Chun does have some locks, some chin na, joint locks, and I know some application on the ground too. Nothing like BJJ. Nothing will ever be like that. You can't mess with that. Judo too. You can't mess with that. Wrestling too. You can't mess with that. Sambo. Wrestling sambo. I mean wrestling. You can't mess with that stuff. Take a good wrestler. You're gonna take your Wing Chun guy and toss him up into a pretzel. Same with your Muay Thai guy. Ain't gonna be no wrestler. Ain't gonna be no wrestler. They ain't gonna be no BJJ guy that's high ranked either. And he probably ain't gonna be no judo guy either. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Guarantee the wrestlers definitely no way. No freaking way. Just no way. You take a guy like Khabib and you put him against a Wing Chun and a Muay Thai, you break him in half. I mean, block the shot and come right in on him and just, you know, snake him. But that's my opinion. That's why I like the BJJ. I like the stand up because it's fun hitting bags, punching mitts, learning how to hit, learning how to defend, learning how to block, or shall I say dodge and bob and weave because you don't really block. Blocking in a fight really is unrealistic. Guy throws like 3 shots, 1, 2, or whatever. You're not chances of you know, your karate type shit. The chances of those working, it's gonna be far and few in my opinion. But boxing style where the hands are up and you're moving around and you're throwing and that's more realistic to me against a guy that's trying to hit you versus some type of karate where you're looking to try to block these things and strike in. You look at Ken Kenpo, which is real cool looking, real with that ridge hands and the but I don't think you're gonna ridge hand too many people. I don't think you're gonna hit somebody into where you're gonna shake them up and then get another strike in and then finish off with another one and then kick them while they're down. You're not gonna get into a fight and do anything more than 1 or 2 combinations, unless like you're like really good trained fighter where you can get off with a 4 piece where you can hit a guy with 4 piece. Your average guy, you get lucky, you hit him with a 1 piece. You're lucky you get a fucking 2 piece in before you go to the ground. Guy my size, guy's gonna either try to pick me up or gonna try to take me to the ground in a minute. If not, he's gonna try to punch me. So I'm gonna have to try to get him to the ground and pound him or take his head and smash it against the back of the pavement before I'm gonna stand up with somebody and go toe to toe with a little dude like me. I go toe to toe. That's closer to me to get tagged. I can't get tagged, so I got to tag first. And I tag first. I got to get him down first, and then I got to try to destroy first. Once I get him down, I got to make sure I sit on top, mount him up. I can't let him hot off me and then get me down. It has to be done quick and precise. You know, and thinking about things in your head can only work to a certain point. So That's I guess my spiel for the day here on that. So I'd like to get back into jiu-jitsu just because I have bits and pieces. I have understanding of basic taking somebody down, basic comfortableness now of you know type of getting involved close with somebody, but to actually do anything effective, I don't know because I never learned anything. I don't even know how to do a rear naked choke right. Have an idea, but not enough where it's going to work for me in a street fight. Nah, it happens too quick, you know? So, and I mean, like I said, I'm not going to worry about it anyways. 47 years old, God forbid. I'm not, don't want to get arrested, but you just think about certain things because the world's crazy, people are crazy, and you never know what's going to happen. And, sometimes the smaller ones get preyed upon. It's just natural selection. It's the truth, the smaller get preyed. That's why that's why I got preyed upon. Smaller get preyed. That's right. Thank you, my man. Welcome to the train, baby. Choo choos now. But, the smaller get preyed upon, you know? And you got to realize that. I mean, I remember a guy at work, nice kid, I was like, hey, come and give me a hug, because there was a girl there. She's pretty cool. And there's a kid, another guy there that's a volunteer that works he's got an RA job. So he was there, and I was just being funny. I'm like, yeah, come give me a hug, man. I need it. And he just like, lifted me right up like nothing. He's like 180. I look about as big as he is. Definitely more defined. My arms are bigger, or about as big, but he's 180. He doesn't work out like I do, so if he did, I'm sure he'd be bigger. But yeah, he picked me up quick. So I mean, things you gotta think about. So, but obviously somebody picks you up quick and you just hit them with a nice hard shit right to the side of the temple, they're gonna drop you pretty quick. I mean, you just start bashing somebody in the side of the head if they pick you up, you can get an advantage. Hopefully you're gonna get put down. It depends on the guy though, it depends on who you're dealing with. So you just think of different things, you know what I'm saying? But unrealistic, but realistic because it's just crazy out there, and I see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of stressful things when I'm out there and stuff, and you never know what the hell's gonna happen. So, but I am too puss right now to take jiu-jitsu or anything, so I'll admit it. But I do have those allergies really bad, man. Really bad allergies. I haven't even been outside or nothing. I was killing. Damn, allergies have been killing me. And I've been taking like more than one Allegra. Like the stinging nettle's not working anymore. Like for like the past like 3 or 4 years, I've been taking stinging nettle, and I've been taking the Allegra, and it's like one doesn't work. So I've been taking more than one, but I've been feeling all like looped out because I've been on Mucinex and like 1.5 Allegra, and I feel like I'm all like just like medicated up. Like it's like pissing me off. You know? But anyways, how's everybody doing? God bless. Thank you for listening to the old man complain. Hope you're all having a great week. Thank you for listening to Food Train Mike. As you can see, there's more normal than when you got the guy with the bib on. You know what I'm saying? But persona, trying to make it fun. You know, trying to make it fun. The lives are just more normal talk, more, ghetto TED talk. You know what I'm saying? Not a wallow in the self pits, but semi wallow in the self pits. TED talk on the wall. We got two watching. God knows how many people are just sitting on the other side, looking at the old man, wondering why. I got the Allegra. The Allegra's all right. Nothing's gonna work. Other than that, before I tried them all. Tried them all. Had smoke under the little nose toot. Yeah, well, I'm getting hit hard for some reason. I, of course, diet causes inflammation. My diet, it is what it is. Hey, na, hey, hey, why? I appreciate everybody tuning, giving me a little bit. I appreciate that, Smoke. Don't worry. No need to feel bad. Feel glad, But yeah, I've been rough, man. I've been rough since last. It's been a week now. I've been feeling like shit. Maybe do these home deliveries. I smoke all day, all day and day, as they say. Snoop Dogg. All day, my man. Oriana, welcome. And if you can, I'm not sure if you, yeah, whatever. Just please give a sub if you can. But yeah, I don't know. I had to do these home deliveries. And shout out to Oriana. Prosperity to you, my brother, my sister. Are you male, female? I assume in male. Could go both ways on that name, so I have no idea. No disrespect, just, I don't know who I'm talking to. But yeah, so I had to do these stupid home deliveries, and I had to go in a few of these rat ass places. And I don't know, man. Being in the elevator, I don't know what, but I got some type of virus. Probably some COVID variant, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been doing, today I did like 14 grams of lysine, almost 3 grams of C right now. I'm really pumping it. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to feel crappy again, and I was feeling crappy a week ago. Jordan, welcome. Feeling the strife, my man. Feeling I got that upper, feeling a little sick and a little allergy-ish at the same time. It's been like a week. Caught some virus doing some home deliveries. Probably in the buildings I was in. All right, bro, I got you, Orion. All right, no worries, my man. Just want to make sure. I don't want to be no disrespect. Just say know who I'm talking to. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. You don't believe, universally blessed with good brotherhood, good sisterhood. Say that to everybody. Nah, various times. Not all day. Not all day usually though. You know, some days, more so than others. It all depends. Um, but yeah, I had to fill in for somebody last week, and I do these home deliveries, and I don't know this one lady who's got like CPOD, and she's on all these freaking medications. Um, Thank you, Jordan. I'm trying. See what happens. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. I went in and I brought the box of food in. I had to go in the elevator and I had to bring it in her apartment. And then she's like touching my arm as I'm leaving and asking me if I could buy her cigarettes. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm on the clock. Gotta take the van and go to the gas station and buy a pack of fucking cigarettes and then bring it back and deliver it to the lady. Like, I mean, I can't do that. Like, and she's like touching my arm as I'm leaving, and she's like some, I don't know, 70-year-old, late 60-year-old, raspy, overweight, nice Italian lady. But I mean, she's touching me up. Like, I'm like, why the hell can't I walk into some 35, 40-year-old girl's apartment, preferably Hispanic? You know what I mean? And she starts touching my arm. Oh, now it's on. I'm going to be a little late get back to work now because I got to do some more work. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. Yeah, I go into these apartments sometimes and I got these ladies touching up on me. And they're old, these old freaking ladies. Like, or even like if I'm even at work or something or on the dock, giving out the freaking food. Sometimes these women, they like flirt with me and they're all like over the hill, these bags, no disrespect, but I mean, come on. I'm 48, gonna be 48 years old. Like it sucks, you know what I mean? And then like I gotta bring a box of food into somebody's apartment, I'm getting like felt up almost. Like if I like said to her, I said, "Hey, do you need me to take care of anything else for you?" You know what I mean? She'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And I'm not 20 years old anymore. You know what I'm saying? If I was 20 years old, that'd be a different story. When you're 20 years old, you screw anything. It's just the point of it. Oh my God, hey, what a turn on. So I'm gonna bag some CPOD lady. 20-year-olds think like that. I'm gonna be 48. I don't think like that anymore. I don't want to take any for the team. Well, that's how you're lucky. It goes by quick. I'm gonna be 48 next month. But yeah, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man. You've been touching me up. It bothers me. I don't, I was unlocking a door one time, and I had a lady that was incarcerated, I guess, multiple times, and she comes up to me and she like, hey, Mike, hey, and she like starts like rubbing my chest and looking at me, and then like she starts grabbing my nipple, going, felt like I just was in prison, and I went down the wrong turn. And Bubba came up to me and jacked me up and started rubbing me up like it was sick. And she did it in front of the people. I had to like smack her arm off of me. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? She said, well, you don't like it, Mike? I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, no, I don't like it. She literally grabbed my nipple and made the sickest grunt that I ever heard in my life. I felt nauseous and violated after. It disgusted me because she was so disgusting. Yeah, it disgusted me. I honestly, after that, knew what it felt like for a woman to feel violated. I never felt that before, and after that happened to me, I said to myself, well, I can now understand. Yeah, well, it didn't scare me because one punch I would have probably killed her. I could have taken her head right off. Matter of fact, I could have, see, that's the one thing. If yeah, I wouldn't even have feared her with a knife. She pulled out a knife, I would have taken her head and smashed it against a brick wall. Ended her life right there, you know. But it wasn't scary to the point. It was just I can understand with women, especially being over bared by a man or something and taking advantage of it and having a certain feeling. It kind of hit home a little bit. So I did feel pretty gross after that, pretty disgusted. But I wasn't gonna about to go and be like, oh, I'm gonna call the cops and press. I would never do that. I mean, I was friendly with her. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do you have it in the UK? It's real good, that fluff. They should have fluff in the UK. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Heather. It's a scary situation when people are touching up on you. You don't want them to. You know what I mean? Um. Anyway, and plus they're doing it in front of. Yeah, that might be an American thing. I don't know. You know what you could do? They have marshmallows, right? You could always take some marshmallows and maybe put them in a bowl and melt them down a little bit in the microwave and spread it on. But it's not going to be like the fluff, probably. You know, it's really good, that peanut butter and fluff. And you try it with that ketchup. I mean, it's really good. It's not bad. You could probably order it on Amazon. They'll have it on Amazon, I bet you. Yeah, the fluff and utters. I've been eating that since I was a kid. I've been eating that since the 80s. Early, 1980, 81, I've been eating that. Started out with peanut butter and jelly. Cream cheese and jelly is another great one if you guys ever want to try it. I used to eat it all the time. Cream cheese and jelly sandwich. I'd recommend toasting the bread, putting some cream cheese and some jelly on there, and dip that in ketchup, banging. Um, no, not see. But then you go with that peanut butter and fluff. You just can't beat it. I also somebody was telling me Nutella and fluff is pretty good. Haven't tried that one yet. That should be another one I should try. Nutella and fluff. But the peanut butter and fluff's interesting. Um, just as it's just that fluff just gives it. Oh man, it just gives it such a nice flavor. It's just great, you know. But that's if that's if you're feel like I'm addicted to food in some ways. It's yeah, kind of yeah, sorry, kind of a weird thing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Pop Tarts so. I like the toaster strudels a little better, but Pop Tarts are okay. Yeah, Pop Tarts are definitely all right. Well, the real yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot going down. You know what I'm saying? A lot going down. Totally flipping the subject here. A lot going down, there's planes flying over. They're bombing right now. Bombing right now. Imagine that. You hear all this bombing right now. This is why I like doing these lives. I like to act like an idiot too. It's I guess if I'm not gonna pass out, every now and then if I do a late live, I've been known to pass out midstream. But I wake up at 3 in the morning every morning, between 2 and 5. Realistically, I'm up at 1, go back to sleep 2:30, and if I don't go back to sleep then I'm really up by pretty much between 2:30, sometimes 3. So if I'm doing a live at 10 o'clock at night, it's been doing whatever all day. Oh, forgive me if I pass out midstream, you know. I wouldn't post that one. I did accidentally post one of them, but that was because I passed out and I forgot to erase it. And then when I woke up in the morning and I'm like, why did I post that? I thought maybe I got a donation or something, and there was a reason. And then someone called me upon it that knows me that saw it and was kind of giving me heck about it. And I'm like, yo, I'm thinking to myself, look, man, thinking to myself, yo, yeah, I had a lot going on that day, and what are you gonna do? So I pass out midstream, big freaking deal. What's the worst? Worst gonna happen. Has Don't do it all the time. I don't pass it out now. Yeah, God bless them. Yeah, I remember that day. Um, yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad what was done. All those poor people that went into the buildings and they knew they weren't coming out. When you're especially in New York City, but when you're a city fireman and you've seen some buildings and you know these buildings and you know what you're going into, you're not coming out of there. You're not coming out of there. There's no way in hell. It's like Towering Inferno, that movie. You're not coming out. Um, yeah, I mean, I hats off to those men because if it was me and I had a family, I would have went home. I would have went home. But I can't say because, I'm not somebody that's doing that. But if I had children and a wife at home, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go into a situation where I might save a few people, but in the scheme of everything, I might not, and I'm going to lose. But I know if more people thought of that, you know, the few people that were saved weren't, but I'm sure probably there were more that weren't that were. Um, it's a hard thing to say, but I would have went home. Um, I wouldn't have been able to deal with. I wouldn't have been able to see. That's why I wouldn't be able to do a job like that. I wouldn't be able to. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to go into somewhere knowing I'm not coming back out, and there's people at home that are expecting me to come home, and I'm not gonna come home, and knowing that it would, But maybe when you're in that fight or flight stage, and you're just trying to be, heroic, which is how they all were. They did what they did, and God bless them for doing so. And that's why people are made in certain ways. Uh, yeah, well, that's kind of how it was. Yeah, kind of set up. If you look at the way the building fell, it collapsed, and it was all steel constructed. They were like steel beams that went this way, and the thing collapsed like this. So detonation, when you detonate something, you collapse it like that. A plane going into the steel in two ways is not going to collapse anything unless there was detonation. Um, Obviously, those could have been pivotal points, maybe, upon detonation, or just to make it look. I don't really know, but I can tell you right now, there's more to it than what was than we will know probably. But definitely detonation, and that's why it went down that quick, and that's why. Uh, and I honestly think, and what sucks is those firefighters that went in probably thought it was just two planes. So when you really think about it, two planes hitting a building, and with a building, with everything happening like that, and with the building still being up, you could probably save a lot more. But because of other factors that were not known, and how quick that building went down and why it did, is why they had no chance. So hindsight says they shouldn't have gone in, but they didn't know that at the time because they're looking at two planes, thinking, "Okay, I got two planes. The building's still standing. So let's get in there and see what's going on. Let's go up a few floors. We'll go up a few more. We'll assess it. We'll get out who we can. We'll go up a few more. We'll tear it up maybe. But they didn't have time for that because all of a sudden they get in there and it's boom. Yeah, yeah, and then all that dust, those people that were running. Yeah, and then those people that were running. Yeah, it was horrible. It's horrible. I don't think there's enough compensation that could ever be given to those families. You say goodbye to your wife and kid, and you go to work, and it's a normal day, and then all of a sudden that happens out of the blue. I mean, are you gonna expect all of a sudden two planes to collide into a building, into the World Trade Center at that time of day in the morning? See, that's another thing you got to look at too. In the morning, at the time when it was heavily people are going to work, people are going into work, people are at work. The most heavily commuted time of day is the time that it happened. Where the most people are going to be, where the most people are going to be on the street, where the most people are going to be in the workplace, and where the most people are going to be around the surrounding areas is when is when the incident occurred. That's why you had people running for their lives out of nowhere because it was like an avalanche that came down out of nowhere when you're skiing. And you don't even see it until you start seeing it and you run and then you get buried. I mean, these people were running for their lives because they had no idea that that thing just came down out of nowhere. Boom! Two planes hit. You got a few seconds, and then all of a sudden, comes down like a sack of chips, like dominoes. You know, and then you wonder why people go into somewhere and shoot everybody up or do what they do. You know, another incident, there was a mall shooting I heard about. Unfortunately, it was a young black male. I hate seeing young black males doing these crime incidences. Uh, I just, I, I'm not saying I wish it was a white person, but, in a way, I'd rather have it be a white person than a black person because the black race already gets enough heat. I'm not trying to get racial or start any type of predicament here, but they get enough heat, and I just wish that there would be more uniting and understanding. And I wish a lot of these guys wouldn't do stuff like that to reinforce the bigotry of white America, or you know what I'm getting at. So I. I was unfortunate that that happened, and it was unfortunate in all aspects. Um, and there's a lot of these shootings going on, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and they've done a lot to us through COVID vaccinations, through COVID, through 9/11, through different things that have happened that, I don't know if people just kind of like come out snapped or just aren't right in the womb because of things and then just come out and, may not have a dad in the home, may have a faulty home, and, may do things out of haste without thinking because they're angry. If you're living in the inner city and all you see is violence and killing and murdering and you have access to a gun, well, maybe you flip your channel and you go do something. Who are we to say we don't live that life? You know, so it's hard to fully judge and accuse, and accuse, but I mean, judge, the individual because there's a lot of factors that factor in. Not saying it was right, but we don't know what went on uh, in that person's life that would make them do that. And then you got people that go to the mall, I mean, I remember many times getting excited the night before because I was going to take my daughter shopping the next day at the mall. We were going to go find a nice restaurant to eat. And she'd be all excited. And when she was younger, like 8 or 9 or 12 or 13, and you think, yeah, you're going to go to the mall, and then you go to the mall and it gets shot up. Last thing you'd expect. Well, I mean, not really last thing you expect anymore in this shit time we're living in, but, you know, um, it's a freaking mall with innocent people that are just shopping, trying to get clothes, having a good time. I mean, I got bullies. You got people got bullies. You want to take it out, find a bully and kill them. And I always said, and I've always have said, if I'm gonna hurt somebody or go after somebody, it's not going to be an innocent person. It's not going to be a school that I never went to. It's not going to be a movie theater, a mall, a senior citizen home. It's not going to be that. It would be finding the individual that has caused me the pain and take it from there. Which of course I'm not going to do. But that's what I don't understand. These people that have been bullied and these people that have been tormented, they go after people that didn't do anything to them. They go after people that didn't have anything to do with their situation, and they take their lives and they ruin their lives. They had no bearing on the reason why you are the way you are. Yeah, I'm the reason why I am the way I am for the way I think why I am, if that makes any sense without saying too much. But that doesn't mean I'm going to take some innocent individual and hurt them for no reason because I'm angry. I'm going to find that person that made me angry and hurt them before I'm going to hurt somebody that has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life is to go back to a school 10 years later and shoot it up when those kids that are in there had nothing to do with what the hell. I don't care if the teachers are in there still. Those kids that were in there that bothered you, well, now that's a different story because now you got the teachers that were there that may have not done anything. So now you're treading other waters. But the fact of the matter is that you got to deal with if you're going to deal with somebody, you deal with them one on one. You deal with them one on one. You don't go in and cause multiple casualties of people, and you don't even do that. You don't even deal with them one on one. Very true. You know, you don't even do it. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just giving an example of if you're going to hurt somebody, hurt the individual that hurt you, or confront the individual that hurt you, and see where it goes. So instead of hurting, let's just say confront the individual or individuals that hurt you, and see where it goes. You know, don't go and shoot up a place or kill a bunch of people or go to a gay bar and shoot it up. You know what I'm saying? Craziest thing is you never heard a strip club get shot up though, right? Devil must be protecting them pretty well. Not saying they should. I'm not saying that. But you got so many other places that get shot up: churches, schools, nightclubs, gay clubs, this, that, and this, movie theaters, like I said, whatever. I don't know if it's casinos ever been shot up either. You don't hear that often either. Another devil's playground. But strip clubs, another. Porn stores, another. I don't think I've ever heard of a porn store, a strip club, or a casino. I mean, I'm sure they have been, but they're not prevalent like schools, movie theaters, malls, planes, football games, whatever, school functions. You tend to wonder about that, right? Strip clubs, casinos, massage parlors, Chinese massage parlors, Asian massage parlors where the windows are blacked out like a dispensary. You don't hear about them getting shot up. But the daycare center down the road is going to get shot up. But the massage lady that's massaging and sucking everybody off and hand jobbing every Joe off is safe. Not saying that they shouldn't be, but I'm just giving examples here. And then you have your daycare center down the road that gets shot up, or that a kid gets kidnapped from. And then lives are ruined. And then that kid goes through torment and hell and the most horrific ride of his or her life to the end. While the girl is showing her fucking ass at the strip club while some guy's jerking off under the table, and that place is fine. Now just think about that, everybody. That's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you things to think about. Giving you things to think about of situations of yonder. You got people that at a game and a ceiling collapses, kills everybody. You got a Diddy party. How many Diddy parties? Nobody died. Nothing catastrophic happened unless they planned somebody. Nothing collapsed. No ceiling collapsed. But people are out there dancing or watching a hockey game or watching a function, and something collapses on them, kills 5 people, 10 people. But you got sex parties and you got all kinds of other type of sick parties out there, and nothing's collapsing on anybody. except the drugs and the evil doings that they're partaking in. So just a little bit of something for y'all to think about. But I'm about to be out. It's an hour and 12 minutes I've been on. Appreciate everybody. um, but yeah, I mean it's serious out there in my opinion with a lot of that stuff, you know. And I was just giving examples, you know, not saying that's any right to do what I'm giving the examples of. I'm just giving examples. I'm letting people know that, you know, there's other things going on, and you know, just you know, when you really think about it, you know, there's just other things going on, you know. Hold on a sec. Just want to see something here. I can usually see something when I'm. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of where it's at, you know. Um, but you know, you think about that, and you know, you get a different type of, you know, I guess view. So yeah, I thank you all, and definitely appreciate it. I'll be back.